Hey Tyson, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how all the new cars are kind of ugly. Not all the cars are ugly, but every car just seems to, they don't have as much style and pizzazz as they used to. I'm just talking within the last like 5 years. It just seems like there's no more like stuff that they're adding to make them unique. Besides colors, I do notice they are adding more vibrant colors, but other than that, they're all kind of the same shape, same size. All the interiors kind of look the same. They are, to me, they're just kind of ugly. What do you think?
Well, I agree. I was trying to think of something smart alecky is what I'm supposed to say there. I think we did this whole like 10 years ago. We did this thing where it was cool to kind of go back to this like retro look. So we did the retro Mustang, we did the retro Camaro, with kind of new lines and retro Chargers as well. Like all the American companies, anyways, did this like retro revitalization. And the one thing about these retros things is they were all kind of boxy and square, and they're still around. So all our muscle cars are just boxy and square, and I know that's kind of what they look like in the day, but they at least felt more unique. All our hatchbacks are hatchbacks. There's like one good-looking, I think, hatchback out there. It's the Hyundai, whatever, the Velociraptor, I think.
No, the Raptor, just Raptor.
Is it a Raptor? And then we've got trucks and SUVs. And let's be honest, the only difference is when we look at these trucks and SUVs is the grille and the headlights. It's...
Let me stop you right there. What about the Bronco?
I do like the Bronco. My daughter owns a Bronco.
Okay.
Yeah, she really likes it. Yeah, but once again, it's still that it's kind of bringing back that little bit of a retro vehicle. It's obviously the Bronco doesn't look like the old 80s, 90s Broncos by any means, which were freaking shoe boxes, with a bit of a, I don't know how to explain them. They were ugly back then. I do like the new Bronco, but so there are a few cars that stand out. There's the Bronco. I'm going to say a lot of the more European cars still, at least the ones that are not just sedans, stand out. I mean, BMWs, they all kind of look the same. The Mercedes all look kind of the same. But for the most part, you've got a few foreign cars. But there's a few standouts. I think the problem is there's like 5 models that everybody buys. You either own a Tesla, you own a Ford Ranger, or not a Ford Ranger, a Ford F-150, or the Chevy Silverado, or whatever, or you own the frickin' Tahoe, is what it feels like. Those are the cars we see, at least where I'm at, with the occasional hatchback. Isn't it the Tahoe?
Or are you talking more like a Tundra? Or Toyota?
No, I'm thinking the SUV, or the SUV. Isn't Tahoe's SUVs?
Then that's Tahoe.
Yeah, like all the SUVs look the same. And then all the trucks look basically the same, let's be honest, besides the coloring scheme. So right there, and then you've got hatchbacks all look kind of the same. Like I said, they're all the same. And I'm not going to say they're actually ugly cars if I were to look at them as one-offs. I think what's ugly is they're all the same.
Well,
and
that's what makes them ugly.
Yeah, that's what makes them ugly.
Yeah, but you go back to the 90s, and there were some ugly cars in the 90s, the way they were.
Oh, the Ford Taurus that was like a bubble?
But at least you could tell the differences between the cars. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I don't think they're, they were ugly when they were new. I remember like being in the 90s and going, oh man, that's one ugly, like a LeSabre, and I go, oh man, that's ugly. But now I look back on it, I'm like going, they're not bad. They're still kind of ugly, but they're,
One thing I remember, I'm going to point this out just with the same thing going back. Like back then I thought that was an ugly car, and now I like that car. We talked about the C4, but the Ford Mustang Fox body.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day, I thought the Fox body, I thought that thing was generic looking. It was not cool. Now I see a Fox body, I'm like, I could drive one of those. That would be fun. Yeah. So I get you, with a couple of those. They, at the time when I was younger, now I look at them like, okay, no, I see the styling. Maybe it's an old man thing, or maybe it's nostalgia. Who knows? Or maybe it's because they're different now.
Maybe. But but there are still great looking cars. There's what the way they call it, the G-Wagon. I mean, that's just a unique looking vehicle.
Yeah, I like the G-Wagon. I really do. That's one of the ones I would like to own. Yeah, I don't like how they've become a status symbol, but that's a different topic, different show. But no, I do like the G-Wagon. Although my wife, and she thinks they're ugly, and I know a lot of other people that think they're ugly. Once again, because they're unique. I think they're good looking, and so if you like that boxy style, that the way they've done that, because it looks like if you could build one out of cardboard and paint it silver, is what it looks like, in my opinion. But I like them.
Have you seen the Land Rover Defenders? They're the
Yes.
bigger. They are sweet looking. If I could have one, that's probably the one I want to get.
I'm not so much on those. I've seen them, but once again, maybe it's because of the how I view who drives those. And I don't view people that drive those badly as like a negative person, but as more of they're a status symbol. I mean, in here I just talked about how I want a G-Wagon, but yeah, so I don't know. I feel they're a little more generic, and I see a lot more of those around here once again. So they're just feeling a little more meh, in my opinion. And maybe that's, like I said, is at the beginning, is maybe I just want different. Maybe I like different.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, and then for ugliness, they're all the same colors too. It's always white, black, gray, like a silverish gray, and sometimes a red. They don't offer many colors anymore. Luckily, they're starting to move away from that. You're starting to see some pretty cool colors. I don't know if you remember my baby blue Maverick, but that baby blue color, really stood out. I got teased a lot because everybody said, "Oh, it's a grandma car," but you know what?
They called your Corvette a grandma car? Who did that?
No, my Maverick.
Oh, your Maverick. Okay. Yeah, it was kind of, actually, now I think about it, it does look like a grandma car. I mean, it had a V8. It didn't drive like a grandma car, but yeah.
But the color was great,
Yeah, it was unique. But I guess the colors aren't my complaint. All my cars are gray or black or white, so like I purposely shopped for those. Well, yeah, I don't have much to choose for, but even back when we could, those were, I like just a classic black like looking sports car or sedan, or luxury car. I like those colors. So to me, it's clean looking in a way. I mean, black can get dirty really fast on cars, but it's a clean kind of just, I don't know, the aesthetic I like very neat and orderly, and to me that feels very neat and orderly. So it's not, I like the variety of colors ish. There are some colors out there I see on like vehicles. Like I see this green, and it's not a green's my favorite color, but it's not a good green. It's on like trucks lately. I don't even know how to describe the green. It's like a gray green. It's ugly, in my opinion. So I do like some of the colors coming back because it does give people variety and makes these cars feel different. I will probably still buy black, white, or gray.
But even like
the two-tone at least.
Oh yeah, but even like say like your old Fiero was gold, that gold color.
Yeah, that was the thing I liked least about it.
Oh really? That's what I liked about it.
It stood out, and I didn't mind it. But that was I always told myself if I wouldn't have wrecked it. I didn't even wreck it racing. Sad. I wanted to paint it. Like I wanted a paint job on it to make it look something more sleek and stylish, not the gold. I didn't mind the gold, obviously. Like I said, it was recognizable, but that was the first thing I wanted to change on that car.
It's kind of funny though. If you look back, you go back 40s, 50s, they were kind of those pastel colors. Kind of like your mug.
Yeah.
So
that was in camera.
Yeah, and those were, they all really stood out. And then it seemed like, I don't know, 70s was just a weird years because that's when they went to the weird browns and it's kind of those really just earthy tones, which worked. on say like Broncos and certain vehicles like trucks and stuff like that at that time. But then in the 80s it was kind of more like the silvers, and you saw a lot of the stuff like that moving. 90s I saw a lot of green in the 90s for some reason.
I remember seeing a lot of yellow.
Yellow was in the 90s a lot.
Yeah, a lot of yellow.
A lot of yellow and reds, different type of reds. But the 2000s and up, it's just been all just kind of those primary colors that we said before. And so I start seeing a shift now in some brighter colors, and to me, I don't know, that's for colors, but maybe that's just not what makes these cars ugly. Maybe it's the interiors. Some of the interiors are just kind of, I think they're shaped, designed kind of odd, and maybe that's because with the rush of trying to have like a infotainment center in your vehicle, and that's why I don't like about the Teslas and all that, because they actually have a screen that comes out, and it's not it doesn't mold into the dash itself. It just kind of sticks out, and to me that's ugly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's a positive to the minimalistic side that like Tesla's trying to go for. Like there's some things I see what they're trying to do, but yeah, the fact that it doesn't blend isn't great. I saw a new car. I don't remember what it was. I'm sure it was some luxury model, but they were just announcing it. But the paneling, like the paneling itself, the dashboard, it's rounded and stuff, but it's 3 screens that are rounded too. So the whole dashboard's like a screen. And so the one screen in front of the driver is like the tack. What?
That's the new vet. Because they're redoing the layout.
Okay, well, yeah. So it's like the tack and speedometer. Then like the middle's like the controls, and then the other side's a TV. Actually, so for the person in the passenger seat that they can.
Oh, maybe that isn't the vet. Maybe that.
Yeah, I want to say like I saw like an SUV.
They're just adding more screens.
Well, yeah, but it all looks like one seamless panel. Like when it turns off, it just looks like a dashboard. It's glass covered ish, like glassy looking, because it has to be, right? But it's like the same material that your iPhone or your phone glass case is, but it's rounded as is the dashboard. So it's one solid piece. There's no bars or anything that separate them. It's just, it is 3 screens, but it's just one screen ends and the next screen starts. No definitive until you can just see them on.
Right.
But it is molded. So I think that's a better look than the monitor coming out in the Tesla. But I do get the minimalistic style of the Tesla. And I don't see a lot of interiors, I'll be honest. I don't look at a lot of insides of cars, I guess. But I do remember the 90s where everything was a button. And I remember getting into some cars and there was 50 buttons in that freaking car. And I hated that. So I'll take what we have, this minimalistic version, over that any day. I mean, my Bolt is all one big touchscreen. Now it's built into the console, so it looks better than Tesla's, but it's just a touchscreen that controls everything. I do like the minimalistic view, but I don't mind that, but it's maybe the coloring and the insides, the way they choose to incorporate it, stuff like that. I don't know. I guess I'm sure the insides are ugly. I guess when I look at a car, though, I don't really look at the insides unless I'm looking to buy it. So,
I always go off of what it looks like on the exterior first. Yeah. And if it looks good on the outside, then I'll go look at it, and then if the inside kind of meshes, and I'm like, oh, okay.
It's got to feel like a cockpit. Like I've got to feel like I've got control over everything if I'm sitting inside of it, but it still has to feel clean and not confusing, in my opinion. That's a good interior.
And it depends on what type of vehicle. If you're in a sports car, you want a different layout than, say, an SUV or a truck.
Right.
Right. So those make sense. But overall, and this will lead off on this. Overall, what percentage of the cars that you see nowadays do you think are just kind of ugly?
Oh, a large percentage. And once again, I I think it's just because it feels like I see the same car over and over again. It's if I'm going to pick a number, and this is out of the air, 82. 82% of the cars I pass going wherever I go, I could be meh about, basically. Like, very rarely do I turn in my head and go, oh, that's a good looking car. And it's not always a sports car. Like, it is other cars, but it does feel like it happens. Maybe I don't drive often. How sad is that, talking on a car show, and I don't drive that often. Like on my trip up to the nearest bigger city, which is 10 minutes away, if you call it that, I'll maybe see one car that'll turn my head in that 10-minute trip. And that's not because I'm only passing, 10 cars. I'm passing probably 100, to be honest, in one direction or another. So, yeah, maybe one car will turn my head.
Okay. All right. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, is just because all cars kind of look the same. We're paying too damn much for all the cars, because car prices have gone insane. But if it's something a little bit more unique, I'm willing to pay a little bit more. But there's nothing really that unique standing out, And maybe we could go, maybe in another episode, we can go through cars that kind of stand out a little bit other than others, But overall, I don't know. Any
car I look to own, I mean, except for the Bolt, because that was just, we wanted a cheap electric car. The first thing I look at is, now I want a car that performs, but really the first thing I look at is, how many of these do I see on the road? And I bought my Mini because I hardly ever saw them. Now I see them all over, and it pisses me off. I actually hate when I see another Mini on the road. We're supposed to be friends. We're supposed to all be part of the Mini club. I wanted my car to be unique. Now it feels not unique. So,
well, I think that we just kind of hit the nail on the head with this. I mean, what do you guys out on the internet think? I think cars have just kind of lost their personality a little bit. And if you have any thoughts or suggestions, let us know. And I thank anybody that watches us. That's two knuckleheads, because we don't know what the hell we're doing.
No.
But no, we're just trying this out, and we're trying to provide something a little bit different. Maybe in our next episode we'll get into something a little bit different, but
we just need more people like the people that designed DeLorean out there.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see in 10 years what we think is ugly. Well,
we look back and be like, yeah.
We'll look back and go, maybe that wasn't ugly.
Yeah, it'll happen, I'm sure. Views change, opinions change. So,
all right. We'll see you guys next time then.